long and come back.
That's not gonna fucking change anything. That ain't gonna change nothing, bro. Johnny, tell me. I guess something I've always been curious about, and I don't think you've been able to elaborate too much on it, is why you went from somebody who loved playing basketball to like taking a liking more to baseball and more to MLB and stuff like that. Because you don't seem like the type of person. I'll say this about you: you don't seem like the type of person who, not necessarily is not chronically online. It just seems like you don't follow. You may love sports, but you don't follow sports.
Yeah. So you're asking what made me switch from?
I mean, like, what is it? Because it was years. It was a year. Like, it seems like over the course of the years, like you wanted nothing to do with baseball, but then all of a sudden you wanted, now, like, fuck the NBA.
I feel like it was a combination of one, just remembering all the times that me, you, and Dad would play baseball and just like be out in the field and just throwing balls around and stuff like that, just having fun. And I never had those type of memories. Not to say that I don't have memories playing basketball. I just didn't have the as fond memories playing Like I played basketball growing up with my friends and stuff like that, but it wasn't nearly as much as an in-depth connection that I had with the sport as it was with baseball. And I feel like the reason I didn't like baseball to start it was because it felt, not that I was being forced to do it or anything, but I felt like, at least when I was younger, when you're younger, if you have an older sibling that just like, let's say you were a basketball player and you were like a D1 level basketball player. You were a really good baseball player, but if you were a D1 like baseball player,
would have made a whole lot of fucking money, that's for sure.
Like as a as a kid, when you're like 7, 8 years old, it's like, yeah, Gio's playing baseball. I don't want to like be stuck in his shadow. I want to do something like I want to do, or like I want to find something I want to like. I want to find my own lane. So I would say, growing up, or at least when I was like younger, like back when I had long hair and everything, I would say that was also like a part of why I didn't gravitate towards baseball. Also because I thought it was pretty boring.
Well, fuck you.
Because I didn't understand the like the nuances of baseball, like the sounds of the field, and like how it feels to field a ground ball or get a base hit and stuff like that. You can't replicate stuff like that. Or like a home run, for example, like watching someone hit like a 450-foot tank or something like that. It's cool to see like people hitting threes and stuff like that. And when someone gets hot, what's it called?
Just like, I don't mind you like looking over my way, but just make sure
I'm
like
still looking at the
just like alternate.
Is this still a practice run?
No.
Okay,
I just hit record. It's just whatever, and I'll make the most of it.
Okay, but in terms of like now, what's changed is that one, I understand the game a lot more because I've actually taken time to do research, and like I've looked into players, stuff like that.
Research how? Like who are some of your favorite players?
So I'm a huge fan of Carlos Correa. He's one of my favorite players.
Why?
I just feel like fielding, he always made fielding look so cool. Like him at shortstop was always fun to watch, even though you don't have to be the best at your position to make the position look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess like it's more asking like why. If you're looking about guys who make the position easy, you got guys like Manny Machado. You got who else am I thinking? Like holy shit! Like I'm drawing a blank with some of these guys.
Ketel makes second base look light.
Yeah, Ketel. Like there's guys that make the position look so easy to play. Like Lindor, even though he's not swinging the bat very well, Lindor has always made shortstop look awesome. Like Mookie Betts was when he was in right field, but Mookie is like just a gifted athlete. But yeah, like it's because the thing is with you be telling me that like your favorite player of all time is Freddie Freeman. I looked at you sideways. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Honestly,
no shame to Freddie.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
I feel like I loved Freddie Freeman mostly because he was just a really good model of consistency throughout his entire career. Like I feel like you never ran into Freddie Freeman having a down year, and like there's something about his stance that just looks like he just looks regimented. You know what I mean? He looks like he takes the game very seriously.
That's a big word.
Like not that not all MLB players take the game seriously, but I feel like he doesn't cheat the game at all. He's just like a really, like if you're gonna look for the prototypical first baseman, it's Freddie Freeman in my opinion. So
I mean, he's first ballot Hall of Fame.
So I'm not sure if I completely answered your question about like what made me switch from basketball to baseball.
No, but I mean the thing is that's I think it's a reflection of how you can allow change into your life. I remember what was that Red Dead quote from Miss McFarlane? It was something like
change is only good if it benefits you.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I mean, I'm just getting into Red Dead. That was a whole different conversation.
Great story.
But yeah, like I mean, I'm someone who, but regardless, it's good because it's the idea of years down the line, you may find something else that you probably didn't care for, and then it turns out and that's something that you're like,
Right.
whoa, where's this been all my life?
It doesn't
That
have
sort
to
of
be
thing.
sports either. It could just be like
Yeah.
a hobby you pick up, or
That's
even people like people that like you may not get along with when you first start like
Right.
meeting them and stuff like that. Gradually, you like make a connection with someone, or maybe you just have a misunderstanding about someone, or like misconception, or whatever the case may be.
Are you judging someone too quickly?
Yeah, and that's what I feel like I do with baseball. Like I feel like I took everything that was boring about baseball and just generalized the entire sport based on the boring stuff.
So you think some people are just talking out their ass online about their favorite sports?
It's all opinionated. Like I feel like people don't give baseball a chance, and that's one of the big parts of it. Like, you can't force somebody to enjoy like a 22 pitch at bat,
right.
or like what's it called, or a double play or something like that. You can't force people to enjoy that, and that's just something that you have to grow up like understanding. And I didn't have that understanding when I was younger.
I think my issue is with some people who have a problem with the sport and with baseball in particular is that these will be the same people that claim that they love watching the NBA or watching football or X, Y, and Z, and then those are just the same people that barely watch the highlights and then feel like their opinion is valid.
And no, I
like the folks that just didn't watch the game. Like baseball teaches you patience, it teaches you technique, it teaches you pretty much, it gives you a lot better life, probably the best life skills,
right?
Like and like personal like skills that you're going to be able to use long term. Learn about being patient, learn about being consistent, and learn about being okay with failure from time to time. It's like baseball's a game of failure, is it not?
Yeah.
So
like batting 300 is
you're a Hall of
great.
Fame player.
Yeah.
You're a Hall of Fame player.
Whereas if you're shooting 30% from three, you're a bum. You know
No,
what I mean?
they take your ass out the league. It's just weird. Like the main thing is just kind of understanding like growth from someone who could give less of a shit about baseball to someone who's starting to take more and more of a liking to baseball, and not necessarily saying you're pushing like just basketball to the side, but just more like, okay, baseball's at the forefront, which is it's cool to see, and it's cool to because like baseball's fucking awesome.
And it's not to say I'm like a savant in terms of either sport. Like I know like the bare minimum, I guess. Like if you ask me who was on like any Red Sox World Series team, I could probably name you like 3 players. Like
I mean, but you don't need to be a whack job.
Yeah.
Like those like I mean I would consider myself a whack job when it comes to baseball anyway, but
yeah. Do you feel like your love for the game has like grown as you've gotten older, or do you feel like it's always been the same?
I don't think it ever wavered. I think it's just it felt lost at times because I wasn't like, you start getting to that age where it's like it may not, like you grow up, you start out as a kid and you're proceeding to think like the world's your oyster, and you think that your dreams and compared to reality and stuff like that. I think it's when you start maturing and it starts setting in like, yeah, maybe I need to start focusing on something else. But then you find that something else and you realize that the damn world isn't over, and then it's not going to end, and your life ain't over either.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I would say you need to supplement that with things that are just as healthy and beneficial to you as a person anyway.
And they could still involve the sport you love,
Yeah,
I mean?
you don't
have to be a player to still take part in the game, you know what I mean?
It's like you can still reap the benefits of what you were hoping to get out of that, because it's like, just because you're not going pro in whatever sport you grew up playing, it's like that's like the other 98% of people that walk this earth,
Yeah.
But then that 98% makes up people who are still living their dream jobs and stuff like that, and living their dream lives. But it's about being able to put that energy where it was in one thing and putting it into something else that's a lot more, or not a lot more, but just as fulfilling, So I think it just makes sense that I like, when I was younger, if I said that, like, if you told me like, hey, like it seems like it's not gonna work out and stuff like that, obviously you're gonna feel some type of way.
Yeah.
But after that, as you get older, like things start getting put in perspective, and then so be it. And then you try to just put your energy into more positive stuff anyway.
Yeah. I definitely feel like with basketball, I ended up having that like epiphany moment. Like I'm 5'5", bro, 5'6" on like 5'7" on a good day. But
I can see the comments already.
yeah, I'm already knowing. But I'm a short Puerto Rican dude, and like who was the shortest NBA player to play? Like 5'7"?
Nah, I thought it was Muggsy.
How tall was he?
Like, wasn't he 5'4"?
Something like
Five-
that. But he was an
5'3"?
anomaly because he was that good at basketball. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
I mean, you got
saying-
that. What's that kid's name? Yuri or Yuki?
It starts with a K.
I'm gonna
He
be.
played for the Bulls, or I think he still plays for the Bulls.
I think it started with a Y, but then I
Could be right, but
I see the comments already.
it takes like such a tremendous amount of skill to be a short guy in the league because so many people are.
Well, it was Yuki. How the fuck do you say that last name?
Kawamura.
Kawamura.
Yeah, and how tall is he?
He is 5'7".
So like
Muggsy Bogues, not Mudgy. I don't even know what the fuck. Muggsy NBA. Muggsy Bogues was 5'3", so I was right about that.
5'3", and he was the shortest to ever play, and he will probably be the only person at 5'3" to ever make it to the league like that, and play consistent minutes too. He averaged double digits.
Wait, what was that dude's name? That dude who played for the Nuggets or something?
Nuggets? Who are you talking about?
I forget his name. Was it Wells?
Are you talking about Earl Boykins?
Yeah.
He was short too.
I think I was thinking of what was his name? Bonzi Wells.
Yeah,
he played for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, Trailblazers, Grizzlies. I don't know what else team.
So Earl Boykins, he was 5'5". Okay, I thought for some reason it was shorter.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to rank on like kids who are my height or even shorter trying to chase their dream and get into the league, but it's getting more and more like people are 7'5", like people could jump over you type.
Right.
So like. I just ended up having that epiphany of like I may be really good at basketball, but I'm nowhere near like even a D3 athlete. You know what I mean? Like I'm just playing just to play the game. Whereas in baseball, you could be it doesn't matter. Like I feel like baseball is really based on technique. You know what I mean? And like whether or not you have the intangibles. Whereas in basketball, you have to be physically gifted and have the intangibles, and even sometimes you could be physically gifted and it still doesn't work out. Like, oh, bro, you're 6'7", you got the wingspan of Kawhi Leonard. How are you not performing? You know what I mean? Like Patrick Williams, for example. Bulls fans hate Patrick Williams, and he just hasn't been able to put it together because people thought he was going to be the next Kawhi. So like, or that was his draft comparison was Kawhi Leonard. So
you can swear.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just
You don't want to say nigga on camera.
Patrick Williams hasn't been able to put it together, and when you have your ceiling set so high and you're performing so low, like from a fan's perspective, it's like this dude is ass. Like it's like did you play basketball growing up? Like you know what I mean? But it's just a really bad like I feel like it's unfair for fans to like rank on people who just don't like put it together, even though like they could be trying their hardest. You know what I mean? You just never know. Sometimes it's like it just doesn't work out. And for someone as short as me, even if I was really, really good, you know what I mean? Like it just like, it's just not gonna work out because the competition is just so like.
So you say folks like Patrick Williams don't deserve to be in the NBA?
You're taking my words out of context. But I just feel like it's unfair for fans to like rank on people like Patrick Williams who don't work out. Like it's happened to a lot of players.
But just using him as an example, this dude is 6'6", 215 pounds. Are you telling me if you were 6'6", 215 pounds, would you do better than 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists a game?
I can't because like the pride in me would say, oh, for sure, I'm averaging 20. You know what I mean? Like, but. Like a modest me would say, this is my stat line.
You're not putting better than a 7'3" and on a NBA diet, on the NBA facilities, and pretty much what they have access to as professional basketball players. You can't do better. I mean, he did shoot pretty well from 3. Field goal percentages, yeah, 37%. That's not good. But you mean to tell me you wouldn't be able to shoot better than? I mean, 35%. That probably could be something that's like attainable. You know what I mean? But you couldn't shoot better than 37% from the field if you were able to have those same gifts.
I mean, like I said, the pride in me wants to say yes, but like you just never know. Like I feel like
he's pretty much. It sounds like you're saying yes without trying to sound rude.
I'm not. I'm just not trying to be disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like I would say yes, but I'm not an NBA player. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of like. I've never seen an NBA defense before. The most defense I've seen is the YMCA. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, you guys know the YMCA could get serious sometimes.
But I'm not asking you about. I'm not asking you being like, oh, if you woke up tomorrow and you were.
So
6'6".
You're saying if I had this man's build in his like amenity.
I'm saying if you were gonna grow up to be 6'6", I don't even say like somebody like you could be like, oh man, I'll get up tomorrow and be able to drop buckets at 6'6".
I mean, I feel like anyone can say that. Like, you know, I'm just trying to be like, I'm not trying to be modest. This is just like how I would view it.
You know, this brother's serious because he's not talking not one bit. Than anybody say anything about like parlays and stuff like that, which has been like reeking in the sports anyway.
If you squint your eyes a little bit, he does kind of look like Kawhi. Yeah, I would say
his nickname's the Paw.
I doubt it, but
that's
I don't know. I feel like if I was like a solid 6'5", 6'6", like I could put up 7 points, I guess. So, you know, but like there's some people who are even taller than him that average less points. You know what I mean? Like, so
no, that's true.
It's all a matter of like whether you're meant to be there or not. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, us 5'5" guys aren't meant to be there. They're like, you know what I mean? Like,
you know, I don't know how like we got. It's not even in depth on Patrick Williams, but like the last thing I thought about when recording this, we're going to be talking about Patrick Williams at length. As an
I feel like we're
anyway,
not talking about specifically Patrick Williams.
Yeah, no, but just like
just use him as an example.
I would say he's like the average like modern day NBA player. If you had to make average, like somebody who's that tall and whatnot, and like, you know, obviously I don't know when he got picked in the draft, but anyways, but yeah, I mean, shit, the Celtics can close it out tonight.
I hope so.
Do you think that they have a chance of making it far in the playoffs? Because I know like Jason Tatum's look good. You got Jaylen Brown, like obviously Jaylen Brown and JT. I think Jaylen Brown, you said he was your favorite player in the league. Why is Jaylen Brown your favorite player in basketball?
I feel like Jaylen Brown's my favorite because I feel like at his position, he plays both sides of the ball probably the best. Like, I feel like there's not many that you can name.
So you saying Jaylen Brown a problem?
Yes, absolutely. And if you disagree, then you're just wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it comes a moment where like you have to just appreciate greatness. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's not on your team, like I can look at Kevin Durant and be like, Kevin Durant is a monster. You know what I mean? Even though he doesn't play for my team.
Well, people will still call Kevin Durant a bum.
I mean, people are gonna say whatever they want, and that's just the internet for you. But when it comes to Jaylen Brown, there are not many flaws in his game. You know what I mean? You could say, oh, he doesn't have a left hand or whatever. Like, that's the joke that everyone makes. That
that shit in the 2024 that 2024 playoffs, shut that shit down.
I would wear the ring on my left hand for the rest of my life. But when it comes to Jaylen Brown, there's not many flaws in his game. And when Jaylen Brown's having an off night, it's ugly. Yeah, and you could say that about any NBA player. Like, I feel like he just offers a lot.
Damn.
But I feel like he just offers a lot, like defensively, offensively, like he does things like that. He can dunk on your favorite player. And
I was like, y'all ain't gonna see this, but like we're watching Jaylen Brown highlights.
He has probably one of the craziest poster mixtapes of all time. All time is crazy, but like. He has a solid list of people he's got.
I mean, shit. I mean, even in the damn 2024 finals and whatnot, like this dude,
he was a monster.
Like him splitting that defense against against the Mavericks in that final series. You know exactly what.
Yeah, we talked about this, and I told you that I hate when players do this, or when players that can't dribble attempt to do this. Like when players that aren't like really good dribblers try to split defense instead of just passing the ball.
It's like, man, that's not your body, bro.
Like. It's not just Jaylen that does it either. It's almost an instant turnover. Like it's like you're playing into the hands of the defense at that point. That was nasty.
I can't believe. Damn it! I can't believe I've only been a fan of the NBA since about. Yeah, I've only been a fan of the NBA for I think 10 years now. Like shout out IT. Mm-hmm. But I remember back in the 2016 draft because that's what it was. I remember. I was fucking so high on Buddy Hield, dude. And keep in mind, this was just like the casual NBA or casual basketball fan.
I mean, that's valid. He was a monster in college.
Dude averaged like 25, but now he's fucking left bench on the fucking Hawks now. So I'm like,
I feel like he's still good. Like,
yeah, he's like,
just defensively, he's a 0.
Right. Or he's gonna be that person. I remember you remember the damn Buddy Hield meme where it's like. He gets traded to a new team. It goes off, and people ask why they traded him.
Right, and then they figure out why.
He plays like ass for 2 weeks, and then he gets traded again.
The Warriors really thought he was going to be the second coming of Klay Thompson. Like when he got there, I remember Warriors fans were going crazy about him. because he played well, and then he just fell off a cliff. And
Jalen, if you happen to see this, I'm so sorry. Like, love you, one of my favorite players.
why are you apologizing?
Good motherfucker, the fuck that you gonna be like, buddy, you healed over me?
I mean, like I said, like as from the outside looking in.
That's how you know I ain't no scout. So I'm like, if I ever met Jaylen Brown, I'll tell him that. I'm like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I wanted the Celtics to draft Buddy Hield. He's gonna be like, I mean, maybe he's gonna be like, I don't know if it's sympathetic or empathetic. Is that the right word?
Be empathetic. I believe sympathy is like.
Okay, yeah, never mind. So he'd be like, nah, bro, it's cool, crazy, but you know,
like I hope you're okay
nah,
with this selection.
nah, but of course, hindsight is 2020. I understand that, but going back, like I hope the Celtics. I was talking about it already in a damn clip I posted the other day, and it was like they need like. I think the series is over with Philly. I think they have a lot more issues, but anyways, I think I'm just worried about like the second round because honestly, for me, because now like at the time of recording, the Magic are up 3-1 against the fucking Pistons. Mm-hmm. The Cavs I think are tied 2-2 now with the Raptors, and then who else? Knicks and Hawks are 2-2, and they have a game tonight.
That's a good series.
I just think because that's the one you're most concerned about when it comes to the Celtics. Because I think if the Celtics make it to the conference finals, I'm not worried about who they would face between Orlando, Detroit, like any of those teams on the other side of the bracket in the Eastern Conference. I'm not worried about. I'm more worried about are they gonna shoot themselves in the foot, because if they had multiple 20-point leads in that series against the Knicks last year and they cannot knock down a three, yes, blew it. But obviously when the Celtics team shoots well, they can make it far. Like I think they can win the fucking championship this year again. I think even if they see a team like the Thunder, they prove they can beat the Spurs. I'm not too sure just with the Wembanyama effect, but I think the best team to come out of the West, I think the Boston Celtics can compete with any of those teams. I think it's just if they're coming to play and they're coming to knock down shots. If Jaylen Brown plays like he did in the 2024 playoffs, different.
That's what it's gonna take. Western Conference teams are great.
I mean, I've been telling you, I think like it would be like the greatest reverse that like Jason Tatum came back and it's like, hey, you held it down for the season. I got us. I'm gonna turn. I mean, he's been playing great in the first round, but I can't wait for another Jason Tatum masterclass like that. When he dropped that 50 ball on my birthday a few years ago, bro, it was against Philly.
Great birthday gift.
The greatest birthday gift I think of, besides what David Ortiz gave me on the same day.
The greatest gift of all.
Well, yeah, I should feel like that should go without saying. But,
you said the greatest gift I've ever received.
Yeah, I ever received. I mean, again, like you see now you're trying to blow it out of proportion, trying to say.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like the gift of life, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm kidding.
Liar.
But what's it called? I feel like not to rank on Philadelphia or anything, but I feel like they have a lot of potential.
It's trash.
So like they have a lot of potential going into next season if they make some moves, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the situation is with Joel Embiid. I'm not sure if Philly fans even want him there anymore.
I think I've seen like a report that's saying they may look to trade him, but I mean,
it's just gonna be tough to trade him.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But I feel like BJ and Tyrese are gonna be.
I like BJ.
Yeah, that backcourt is gonna be.
He's been shooting
disgusting.
like shit ever since game 2, but
he's
I mean,
a rookie. You know what I mean? You gotta give him.
I mean, shit. I'm pretty sure people.
That grace, you know.
If Kobe was playing, had the same exact career as he did, just in this day and age with social media and shit, they would have clowned the fuck out of him when he airballed against the Jazz.
They did when it happened. Like you still hear about that sometimes, you know.
And I'm like, bro,
you don't give him the grace of being like, oh, he was a rookie or like whatever the case may be,
right?
Because we all know now that was Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Like
even
one of the greatest players ever.
That's the thing when it comes like to people these days. Is like people are so fucking impatient. Obviously, we're keeping it within the context of talking about sports because it could be a second-year player and people are wanting his head on a fucking stick because he's not showing up. But like homeboy's like 22 years old.
Yeah, people be moving the goalposts or stuff like that all the time.
It's like, oh, you're not like say like AJ DeBonza or like one of these like the right? It's the Boozer brothers.
Yeah. So
like say like one of them is a top 3 pick. Oh man, you suck, motherfucker.
If you're not averaging 18, 5 and 5 out the gate, you're all of a sudden a bum.
You're a bum. And then if you do it 2 years, you're a bust. But then 5 years later, you're averaging 20. Oh, I always knew this guy was gonna be good.
Yeah. So
motherfucker.
There's been plenty players like that have taken a while to develop and stuff like that because it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of time in the gym and stuff like that. Not that I would know, but like from the outside looking in, I'd assume that's what it takes. Like even if you don't develop into a star, if you develop into a really good role player, it takes time. You know, like it takes time to get into an NBA rotation. I feel like nowadays you can't be a liability on defense. You know, like you
Yeah,
have to be able
unless
to
you're
defend.
averaging 30.
Unless you're averaging 30 or you're shooting 50% from the three. Like you just can't be a liability on defense. So
Steve Novak would have fucking flourished in this day's NBA.
tell me about it. But
He was like 6'10".
you know, like when it comes to Jaylen Brown, like back on that, I feel like when I first saw him as a rookie, I didn't think he was gonna be like I don't think many people thought he was gonna flourish into the player that he is right now. But
I don't think a lot of people were giving him that credit that he could be doing what he did this past season.
yeah, back in this is probably a crazy take, but like back in like 2018, keep in mind like I wasn't very much. I was tapped in because Kyrie's my favorite player, not of all time, but like one of my favorite players.
Damn shame.
And when he came to the Celtics, I was like, I gotta watch. You know what I mean? There's no way I'm not watching this. So when he came to the Celtics, I got to see a lot of. I think that was the same year Jason Tatum got drafted.
Yeah, that team was fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. So that was my first like real like that was when I was watching damn near every game, and like watching Jaylen Brown and like how he developed and stuff like that. And back in 2018, I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be a great six man for us.
We talked about this at length. Like Kyrie really, I wouldn't even say fumbled because like the whole thing.
It is 2020.
It is, but I still think that you see how he ended up being just okay with being like, all right, I'm gonna be the best I can do is being the second best player on a championship team.
Yeah.
You realize how much more success he would have been beloved in Boston.
Absolutely.
If things would have went different, because like you think about it, I still think Tatum and Brown would have developed the same way they did. But just imagine that starting lineup with like it was Kyrie, Marcus Smart, Tatum and Brown, and then a mix of whether it was Al Horford or whoever else. Even if Kyrie was a part of that 2022 squad that made it to the finals, or yeah, I still think they would have been. Maybe they still would have lost that series because maybe inexperience. But I think having someone like Kyrie, who's been in the finals before, who's played up against Steph before, and he's outplayed Steph. Because like we can agree that like
they always go at each other when they play.
But like you have someone who rises to the occasion the way Kyrie was able to do in the early part of his career. But obviously like that middle to back end of his career, like getting out of his prime, because we got Kyrie when he was 25. I think we got him when he was 24.
Yeah, you was.
That was fucking insane.
And he's what, 35 now?
I think he's 34, about to be 35.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. Steph's 39, fucking KD's 38, I think 38, 39.
Yeah. I just feel like the situation with Kyrie, like especially, and not only when he was a Celtic, like Brooklyn Nets fans, I bet can attest to this as well. He was just a really jaded human being. You know what I mean? Like he was very, I wouldn't say misunderstood, but like there was just like certain things about him that was like that would rub people the wrong way. And
I think he was going through a lot.
Yeah, he was, and like at least from the outside looking in, of course. But when it comes to
and like you're being critical of him because he's your favorite player.
Like
because I don't want people on here trying to fucking spin it, being like
of course not. But Kyrie when he was a Celtic, like the whole if you guys will have me back, I'll come back. It's like hearing that as a fan, I'm like, yo, we just like this is great. You know what I mean? This is like Kyrie's gonna be on my team for the long haul. And then what is it, a year later he leaves to go to New York, and we were actually in New York when it happened.
Right.
I remember just feeling like I wasn't even upset that he left. I was more disappointed in how it ended. You know what I mean? Because it was just a lot of media, a lot of like just
it was a lot
misunderstanding, a lot of things.
It was just a lot of shitty vibes around that team. Yeah, the Jays still developing, even though they had Jaylen Brown of all people being the sixth man or being the dude who had to sacrifice coming off the bench.
Yeah. Who was starting over?
I think the starting lineup was
because I remember we still had Marcus Morris.
It was Kyrie, Marcus Smart. I think it was Kyrie, either a mixture of Kyrie, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum,
Morris.
And Gordon Hayward.
Oh, Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
I completely forgot.
And then Al Horford at the five. So and then you had guys like Rozier off the bench. You had Marcus Morris off the bench, Jaylen Brown off the bench. But the problem was it was the worst storm. And it's like they
were such good players too, like to all be on the same team. Like like I feel like
that could have been a group that if they would have felt, because we can be for real and be like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum should be in the starting lineup.
Terry Rozier was on that team. Yeah,
and then Gordon Hayward. Like obviously you can point to a lot of different things as to why that team didn't underachieved. On top of the media focus and all that, but because keep in mind, the very next season, when they bring in Kemba Walker and whatnot, and some of the guys like Horford and Marcus Morris and Rozier and all those guys take off.
Shout out Kemba.
And then you bring in Kemba, who was fun, and he was able to kind of supply what you were hoping Kyrie was going to be able to do. Not on the same level, but of course, still being that guy who's like, hey, I'm going to defer to these guys.
Point guard, you know?
They made it to the conference finals in 2020 in the bubble. And it's a damn shame that, but, very next season, things happen. But then it allowed the Celtics to really kind of find their groove as an organization now. Brad Stevens just won the Executive of the Year for the second time. And at that point, it's like, you know what? If anything, like, even though hindsight's 2020, I can live with the fact of how the team ended up working out for the better. They got a ring out of it. They've been to multiple conference finals out of it. Like, this team is fun to watch. And obviously, like, the shitty vibes are no longer there, because obviously we've been like, that was going through the thick and thin, because then once you're able to kind of cut out all the stuff that needed addressing, you see Al Horford come back. He was helping the Celtics to those finals runs, and it's like these guys, and it's primarily on the shoulders of Brown and Tatum that the Celtics have been one of the most successful franchises ever since the turn of the decade.
And their bench is great too, or they can play.
Like, but see, it's more about, like, all right, this is a championship. They have championship DNA. There's the hierarchy.
And there's no excuse with the inexperience anymore.
Oh no, you got guys who made it to the finals mixed with young guys, like, shout out Jordan Walsh, shout out Hugo Gonzalez, and guys like that, like those guys who are at the end of the bench. Baylor Shine, like guys who started off at the end of the bench and then worked their way up. Like Robert Williams before any of those guys, and then you have Peyton Pritchard, who's been fucking ice cold.
It made me happy to see Robert Williams playing good.
I mean, you just see like Celtics alumni all over the playoffs. Like Drew Holiday, who's been playing great for the Blazers. Same with Robert Williams. Same with Luke Cornett when Wembanyama went down. You got Marcus Smart balling out for the Lakers.
That was also very happy to see. Like
Marcus Smart can turn it up from time to time. Obviously. Yeah. We've fucking seen the best and worst of Marcus Smart as Celtics fans anyway. But yeah, I'm very happy for the state of the Celtics right now. I hope while these guys are going to start transitioning into their 30s, they can compete for long periods of time. And those guys are both going to end up like those, if not already. I think Jason Tatum's a legendary player. I think Jaylen Brown is a legendary player, and they just need to finish out those resumes of theirs, those playoff resumes. Maybe another championship or a few more. Or pretty much long-term success.
What did you say in that Taylor Rooks interview?
You trying to win 7 of them shits by the time he's 30.
You saw Steve Nash dancing in front of her. He was doing some crazy ass moves in front of Taylor. Like, people would be going crazy when Taylor Rooks was around. But
that's the first I'm hearing about it.
He was doing some like Mr. Roboto type. Like,
nah, bro.
This man is 50 years old now. Like, but anyway, shout out to Steve Nash. But what's it called? I feel like in the aftermath of like that whole Kyrie situation, people are not gonna feel bad that Kyrie didn't win more rings, because I feel like he put himself in a lot of the situations that he was in, and he had the opportunity. It was just a lot of injury and a lot of not his own doing, but like it was kind of his own doing. Like the whole what's it called? That Nets team was one shot away from making it. Was it to the finals or was it to the conference finals?
It was to the conference finals, but I feel like they would have beaten Atlanta.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no disrespect to Atlanta, but that team was not.
No, but I think led by Kevin Durant, even without Kyrie and Harden, I think Kevin Durant would have balled out, because he was balling out in that second round series.
All it took was one like
literally
step back, and that would have been game.
I mean, but still, it was overtime, and like you've seen that clip before. Like Kevin Durant, fucking like they lost in overtime. He didn't score in overtime, and then then they lost, because actually no, that was Game 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
But like, yeah, would have been one of the. That's the thing. It's like it's a game of inches, because that's the difference between him being, not a legendary player,
and revered as a Brooklyn Net.
Yeah, because now he ain't gonna got no damn number.
Yeah, I don't know what Nets fans stance is on Kyrie, Harden, and KD or that era.
I'm sure
Nets
they fucking hated it.
And I feel like if I was a Nets fan at that time, and like I'm seeing my team not really put it together, even though we have 3 of the best players at their positions, like maybe in the sport, you know what I mean? It'd be kind of annoying to watch, especially because their supporting cast wasn't really that great either.
I mean, but that was on their own doing. They were saying shit like they didn't need a coach.
They were very top heavy. They had like other players like Joe Harris.
But but they brought in guys like, didn't they brought in DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge.
They were all past their prime.
Yeah, but still, it's like
in the moment, them signings were like, yo, these
motherfuckers made a super team.
It's like, this is unfair, but like Marcus Aldridge wasn't really memorable. Blake Griffin was old. DeAndre Jordan was also old. They had Bruce Brown, who was solid.
That was like the one young guy they had.
Yeah, Joe Harris.
What was his name? Cam Thomas?
A young Cam Thomas was on that team. So, like, I'm not, like, they had, like, some pieces, but it wasn't going to get them a championship. But, Yeah, I feel like Kyrie's career is gonna look really weird at the end of it. You know what I mean?
I think it's just funny. A lot of those guys. I mean, Harden, you know, he was gonna get his number retired in Houston. Kyrie potentially could get his number retired in Cleveland. I don't know, probably not anymore. But I feel like he's just as important to that Cavaliers championship, just as much as anyone on that team. Because without him, I don't think they won the championship at all. So like that's kind of like what that's about.
I mean, that was the biggest shot.
Yeah, that's the biggest shot in NBA Finals, like NBA Finals history, NBA history. But yeah, I think KD, like, there's always that thing, like, he's not gonna have a number retired at any of the organizations he played for.
I disagree.
I don't know. I don't think the Thunder will do that. Maybe if you brought a championship, but I guess it depends what kind of precedent you're trying to set, because they retired Nick Collison, or not Nick Collison. Yeah, it wasn't Nick Collison.
Yeah, he was a lifer though.
But yeah, but that's the thing. But it's either you, like, you know, their precedent, I think, is based more on loyalty or what you're able to do for the city. Kevin Durant didn't display either.
So do you think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would have more of a likelihood to get his jersey retired?
Yeah.
Johnny,
like,
that is, I mean, that's fair to say.
Because my thing is that even if he left under the same circumstances as Kevin Durant, the fact that he was able to bring home a championship to OKC, I think that carries a lot more weight. Because keep in mind, that was their only championship as a Thunder, as an organization.
I don't know. I feel like it may be just me talking from a perspective of
some people might say it's crazy, but
I just feel like there's no way the Thunder don't retire his jersey. Like, even though he didn't bring a championship there, and the way he left was very, yeah, I think we all know how that went.
I even then, but the thing is though, is like they won a championship and they still boo this man.
He carried that franchise for so long. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. There's no way.
But the thing is, they're more beloved. They're more beloved by Westbrook because of just, I guess.
Yeah, Westbrook.
I think because he was kind of a victim of it as well. Because people would say like, KD left because of having Westbrook as a teammate and that sort of thing. Even though they would say like, oh, that's not true. But
it was more the supporting cast wasn't really great. Like,
what the problem was is that if I'm not mistaken, Westbrook was balling out in that Game 7, and KD was the one who didn't show up.
Yeah.
And they blew a 3-1 lead, and also, like, it's just things like that. It's like you would think. I'll compare it to like how the Red Sox were. Bill Buckner was a part of the 1986 Red Sox, right? And a lot of people and a lot of baseball fans will remember the play because it's historic. Is that the Red Sox were literally. The Red Sox, I think, were an out away from winning the World Series, breaking the curse of the Bambino and everything. And they literally were setting up the locker room with champagne. The World Series championship was in the locker room before the game was over. A base hit or a grounder to first baseman Bill Buckner goes right through his legs, and the Mets tie the game. And I believe that's how the story goes. They go in extras, don't score, and the Mets end up walking it off and winning. And then the Red Sox would lose Game 7. And yeah. And like, I lost my fucking train of thought now. I'm like,
how does that relate to what we were talking about?
What were we talking about?
Kevin Durant and his performance in Game 7.
So, okay, yeah, thank you for putting me back on track. So, years later, I think 2004, or 2005 technically, so that's like 29 years later, right? Something like that. Keep in mind, Boston fans hated Bill Buckner. Like, when we're talking about, like, in a time where nowadays people are sending, like, people send death threats and fucking hate mail and stuff like that. This motherfucker caught the brunt of it, because even though they lost as a team in Game 7, I think they even got mollywopped. I mean, before my time, and I'm like, just trying to go off the top of my head here. But they blamed him for the reason they weren't World Series champions. And all these years later, when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2004, what do? They bring back Bill Buckner to throw out the first pitch. And
that's ballsy.
But my point being is that the Red Sox fans forgave him after, winning the championship and stuff like that. The city of Boston forgave Bill Buckner and re-embraced.
So you're saying
Bill Buckner.
They still boo KD, and
after winning the NBA Finals, they still boo Kevin Durant. And obviously, I think it's on a grander scale, because obviously Kevin Durant as a basketball player was better than Bill Buckner as a baseball player. But
I don't know. I feel like
but obviously it's still differing circumstances, because Kevin Durant left to create one of the greatest teams on paper, could team up with the two best shooters in NBA history, and a team that just beat them while choking a 3-1 series lead, and pretty much trying to just like artificially or just manufacture a legacy. Even though people argue he was the best player in the NBA Finals and stuff, and people also argue it was easy because Steph Curry was your fucking teammate, but
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green.
And it's a damn shame, because Kevin Durant is going to be remembered as one of the greatest NBA players, one of the greatest scorers, and he's to be more specific, the greatest offensive weapon the NBA has ever seen. But it's going to be tainted by the fact that how he went about his career. And, obviously things these days with Twitter, and then, like just having like a rip with his teammates.
I'm sure he knows a lot about Twitter.
He knows a lot about Twitter. He knows a lot about Jabari Smith too, apparently. Point being, I think Kevin Durant, maybe it'll take a long time. Maybe it'll take a while. And, like this generation of Thunder fans and people who grew up watching KD in Oklahoma City, maybe after a few more years have passed, maybe when the pain subsides, which I don't know when, because if it's not after winning a championship, then
I get
when?
it. I get the narrative that he didn't really do much for Oklahoma City in terms of success.
He made Oklahoma City, he made the Thunder a relevant organization. I understand what you're saying.
He definitely kept them afloat for years.
Him and Westbrook were what you think of.
Must-see TV.
Right.
So I feel like that's not really enough to warrant a jersey retirement, but at the same time, would you say that Vince Carter deserves to get his jersey retired by the Raptors?
Yes.
So what's the difference there?
I would say, I think it's the difference between, because again, he went back, and it's not necessarily he apologized for how things went out, because again, I don't think Vince Carter didn't leave to join the best team in the league. And he also, if you look at the story of Vince Carter when he came to Toronto was sick of him. It was that relationship was severed. Kevin Durant severed that relationship by joining fucking Warriors.
That's a fair point.
So again, while it's still it has some parallels, I'm not gonna discount that's a good example. But at the same time, it's not Vince Carter had him and T-Mac stayed together, and T-Mac was up and coming, and he's like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna do this. So
yeah, I feel like
y'all let us know what you think when it comes to, does Kevin Durant deserve to get his number retired by the Thunder?
Because I'm not even fully on the side of he should, but I could see why someone would think that. You know what I mean? I could see why you would say that he doesn't, and if not by the Oklahoma City Thunder, he's not getting his jersey retired.
He's not
anywhere. No. Golden State, I don't think they would. Absolutely not with the Nets, and absolutely not.
There's it's literally Thunder or nobody.
So I feel like if the Thunder don't do it, then it's just not going to happen,
right.
Which is crazy to think about, because he's one of the best players to ever play.
But again, it's you can be one of the best players ever, but then it's just you wrote your own story.
Yeah, so I feel like once he retires, people will appreciate what was Kevin Durant when he does retire.
But again, people are still gonna be don't get it twisted. He did this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
all this stuff was on his own under his own accord.
People aren't gonna forget that, and I feel like his best. And it's always easy to make these distinctions about other people's lives and stuff like that when they're so in front of you. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant being one of the best to ever play, he's always gonna be in the spotlight of the NBA. But I feel like had he just stayed with the Warriors, he probably would have got his jersey.
I mean, you blame Draymond Green for that shit.
Oh, absolutely. You can blame Draymond Green for a lot of things. Jordan Poole was supposed to be next up, and now look at him. You know what I mean? He's not. I mean, not to say he's not still a good player, but he's on the Pelicans. No. That young core that they had is just gone. You know what I mean? They had Jordan Poole. Who else did they have? They had a bunch of young guys that were really good.
They prioritized Draymond Green over Kevin Durant.
I feel like Steve Kerr was the bulk of that.
But that's the thing. It's because we know Draymond, we love Draymond. I forgot exactly. They gave that dude 100 M's, and to,
not to say he's a bad player or anything.
I mean, but the thing is you give it let me ask you something. If Draymond Green was not in the Warriors, you see him getting 100 M's?
No.
I just think it's more so. Yeah, he's former Defensive Player of the Year, and he's been a part of those Warriors
teams. Still great defensively. Don't get it I feel like he's still great defensively.
But the thing is that you see a guy who's been a career 9, 6, and 6. All I'm just saying is that
point forward as well. People
people
take that aspect of his game for granted.
People would just look at Draymond Green and think he's just a whack job who don't know shit about basketball and just know how to hurt people.
It's not true.
It's not true. You can call him Mr. Illegal Screen.
Absolutely.
Probably wouldn't argue with you there, but at the same time, I'm saying when it comes to something like that, again, the Warriors dug their own grave with that, and it's they could have won more championships, and yeah, maybe 2022 they wouldn't have won shit without Steph Curry went fucking nuclear in that series. I think no matter who you had a freaking shell of himself, Klay Thompson, as still on that team. Yeah, Jordan Poole who was going stupid in that series too.
Yeah, what's good with Klay, bro? What's going on with
I
Klay?
don't feel like talking about that shit, but yeah. Anyways, we've been talking about basketball for quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck's your deal with video games these days, bro?
They're just not as fun as they used to be.
Why?
It's
Because you can't play 2K anymore.
No,
Fuck
anything,
2K.
if
By the
anything,
way.
that's made me happier. But I feel like I don't know. I just don't have the same, and our friends are not gonna want to hear this part, but like, yeah, I just don't have the same drive to play as I used to. You know what I mean? Just not. No, I'm not saying video games aren't for me because video games are
I was
for
like,
me.
I was like, bro, like you're saying drive to play. It's like you're supposed to be able to play video games to wind down. It's not rocket science, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like I don't know. Just like I don't have the same yearning to play certain games.
Like what?
Like yeah, I don't know.
I was like, name some
Like
specifics.
Call of Duty, I've never been. Not okay. Let's get one thing straight. I've been a fan of Call of Duty at one point. This era's Call of Duty, hell no. Like I've been cool off Call of Duty since like the good old days, I guess. You know.
What were the good old days? What was the last Call of Duty that would be considered the good old days?
The last Call of Duty that I remember playing like religiously was Black Ops 2. Not to say that I didn't play the games following that, because there were plenty of good games that came out after that. But Black Ops 2 was the last Call of Duty where I was like, yo, I'm nice at this shit. You know what I mean? Like I can play.
But like, you can enjoy a game and not be the best at it. So like, so you're saying Black Ops 2 was the good old days?
For me,
because we're thinking about games after. It was Ghost.
Ghost was also good.
Advanced Warfare,
also pretty good.
2015 wasn't Infinite. It was Black Ops 3.
I didn't really like Black Ops 3 that much, even though like people have like a lot of fond memories playing that game.
Wait, was it 2015 or was that World? No, that wasn't World War II. World War II was 2017. So I'm assuming Black Ops 3 was 2018. What was 2016? Infinite?
I think so.
Infinite Warfare. 2017 was World War II. 2018 was...
That game's campaign was great. Multiplayer, not so much. But
and then Black Ops 4 was 2018.
That game sucked.
Modern Warfare was 2019. That's when they lost me. I think 2019... Moving on, because 2019, like Modern Warfare, obviously it felt like a different Call of Duty. That's when they introduced like the new engine and stuff like that. And then of course Warzone was able to add on to that.
I feel like that killed a lot of my love for the.
It's just the problem is that they not just on top of. Because again, some people that we know could care less about what the title of the Call of Duty is, the setting and stuff like that. It's like, oh, if the multiplayer, that's all I'm going to be playing. That's fine.
That's fine.
But that's not going to be the only selling point for the entirety of the fan base too. So, but when I'm just like, I don't just come up with something different. Like you, when it comes to like Modern Warfare and stuff like that, you can make up different stories and do different things. I just feel like they lost the plot and it because the thing is, if the identity of the game itself is bad, or if it's just like something that's like, oh, well, here we go again, then I feel like it just bleeds on to the rest of the game. If it like, because it would be the same thing. It's like, oh, like how many Call of Duties can you think of the last few years? Like, oh, the multiplayer was fun, but like the game overall was like blah.
That's a good question. I feel like
because what I'm saying is just like some people, like I understand where some people would come from in that, but not even turn into a Call of Duty discussion, but like but just look with other games anyway. Because like it seems like you're just hoping like GTA 6 is like the damn.
There's just not many games I have fun playing anymore. Like I like MLB The Show is fun to an extent, you know, like
to an extent.
Like there's some times where the game can get on your nerves, and like you know, it's the same with any game, to be honest. Like Helldivers can get on your nerves sometimes. Like even though you're meant to die in that game, like there's sometimes where like, bro, there's no way that shit killed me. Helldivers is fun to me, but like even that gets tiring because it is pretty repetitive. Like a lot of our friends don't really.
You ain't gotta play games all day every day, but
I don't know. It's just like it's always fun to like play games and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. It's never like a chore, even though like sometimes it may seem like it to me. Like it may seem like a chore to get me on the game sometimes. It's more because like of what I said. Like yeah, I just don't have the same. It's nothing to do with like you know who I'm playing with or what the game is. You know what I mean? But like it's just I just don't have the same, not attention span, but just the same. You know, like I used to be able to play games for like 7, 8, 9 hours straight and be cool, and it's just not like that anymore.
Getting old.
I guess so. I guess it's kind of.
But you know, it sounds like you just need another hobby.
I mean, I feel like yeah, just games nowadays are just not what they used to be. And I know like some people will agree with me, some people will say I'm full of shit, and it's just a matter of like how much you love video games. And like I don't love video games as much as I used to, even though I still love the game, you know what I mean? Like it still takes up a good amount of my life. It's just not what it used to be, you know?
Guys, give Gioni a new hobby.
Like for reading, like I make music on the side, like I read my Bible, like, you know, it's not really a hobby.
Oh, reading Bible's a hobby?
What's it called? Like I like writing. Like I write stories, stuff like that. Like I'm trying to get into.
You just need to
Yeah, well, please, if you guys have any hobbies, like teach me how to play chess or something like that. Like
the fuck.
something, like something fun. You know what I mean? But
All right.
yeah.
But guys, you guys did enjoy. Like, comment, share the video around with your friends. I don't even know what the fuck to call this. It's like it's kind of I don't know if I'm sending out like fully podcast or breaking it up, but hitting nearly the hour mark. So if you guys did enjoy, you want more, then let me know, let us know. But
share your opinions in the comments.
yeah, they say there you go. But subscribe because you guys supporting that way helps out us, helps out me, this channel far more than you guys know. So appreciate any and all support. But we'll see you guys next time.
God bless. Have a great day.
Fuck you.